The golden-maned lion and the crystal pendant. The sun blazed mercilessly over the forest. Golden-hued leaves fell to the ground, their dry rustle whispering a desperate plea. Water, water. The lion pressed his paws into the cracked riverbed, feeling the earth beneath him split like the parched palms of an old friend. "This isn't just a drought," murmured the lion, gazing at the cloudless sky. "Nature is trying to tell us something we've forgotten." Suddenly, a shadow sliced through the scorching air. The wise owl landed before him, feathers dull and beak cracked. "The water nymph," croaked the owl. "She who ruled the waters 1,000 years ago. Only she can end this drought. But to find her, you must pass 3 trials: the wall of thorns, the secret of the mist, and the heart of ice." The lion's ears twitched. The hot wind carried a distant groan, as if the forest itself were aching. Clenching his paws, he asked, "Why me?" The owl spread its trembling wings. "Because you lead this forest not by your golden mane, but by the courage in your heart." At dawn, the lion stood beneath the council tree. Before him gathered weary animals, their thirst etched into every face. A tiny rabbit whispered to its mother, "Will the rain ever come?" The lion's heart tightened. He shook his golden mane and roared, "Dear friends, the soil is barren, the flowers wilted, but hope remains. Deep within the river's source lies our salvation, the water nymph. I journey to find her. Until I return, protect one another, shield the vulnerable, and keep hope alive." The animals' eyes lit up. Elephants trumpeted, churning the soil with their trunks. Squirrels hugged one another, tails quivering with renewed faith. The owl perched on the lion's shoulder. "Your first trial is the thorns," it warned. "They symbolize rage and impatience. Remember, in darkness, listen only to your heart." The lion reached the thorny thickets at noon. The branches, twisted like tangled vines, scraped his golden mane as he took his first step. A sharp thorn pierced his fur. "Pain will not stop me," he growled. The deeper he ventured, the denser the thorns grew. Suddenly, 3 paths appeared. A narrow trail to the right, a dark tunnel shrouded by leaves to the left, and a labyrinth of thorns ahead. The lion raised his paw toward the center path and roared, "A true leader chooses the hardest road." As he entered the labyrinth, the thorns shuddered to life, weaving into an impenetrable wall. A frail, whispery voice emerged from the brambles. "To pass, you must tell us a story. But beware, if your tale holds lies, these thorns will pierce your heart." The lion closed his eyes. He remembered a story his mother had told him long ago. Softly he began, "Once, even these thorns bloomed with flowers. In those days, every creature bathed in morning dew and sang with the stars at night. But a greedy fox hoarded the river's water, leaving the forest parched. The thorns withered, their blossoms lost to anger, until a tiny hedgehog whispered to the fox, "Sharing is the sweetest joy." As he spoke, the thorns trembled. Their sharp spikes softened into velvety buds, and the air filled with the scent of jasmine. The wall of thorns melted into an archway of vibrant blossoms. The voice, now warm and wise, sighed, "You spoke the truth, lion, for this is the forest's own tale. Now go and protect what you love." Following the archway of blossoms, the lion arrived at a swamp where foul green mist coiled upward. Leaves rustled in the fog, their whispers echoing. "Who is the true leader? Who is the true leader?" When the lion stepped into the mud, the ground growled like a starved giant. With every step, the whispers and growls swelled. Suddenly the mist thickened. A voice boomed, "Your roar and strength mean nothing here. This is the kingdom of silence, not words." The lion tensed to roar back, but then remembered his mother's advice. A true leader opens their ears to hearts, not shouts. He closed his eyes and stayed still. The mist parted. From the sludge emerged a tiny frog, her voice trembling. "Can you hear me, lion?" "My voice is weak. I guide the lost with my song." A dusty crown sat crookly on her head. "What's this crown, little friend?" asked the lion, bowing low. The frog's eyes brimmed with sorrow. "I was once this swamp's princess, but the mist stole my kingdom and voice. Now, I only guide wanderers." She blinked up at him. Leadership isn't just seeing what's obvious, it's noticing the lost. Follow my song, but beware. The mist will trick you. The frog began to hum a muffled tune. With each note, golden trails glowed in the mud. But as the lion followed, another frog appeared, singing the same song. "One of them is lying," he thought. He pointed to the crowned frog. "A true princess never loses her crown." The impostor shrieked and vanished into the mist. "You chose wisely," said the true frog, climbing onto his paw. "A leader sees details others miss." They reached the swamp's heart, where a massive reed cluster hid a shimmering crystal well. "This crystal feeds the mist," said the frog. "Shatter it, and my home will be free." The lion slammed his paw against the crystal. With a crack, crystal clear water burst forth, scattering the mist. Mud dried into wildflower patches, and the frog's crown gleamed anew. "Thank you, lion. Now my song will echo through the wilds." As they parted, she tied a tiny reed pipe around his neck. "When you play this in the ice cave, its sound will speak your heart's truth." The lion turned to see the swamp transformed into an emerald meadow. And far away, the frog's melody drifted, woven into the breeze. The final trial awaited, the cave foretold by the wise owl. At its entrance, the lion's breath crystallized into frost. Inside, Towering pillars of ice glowed like frozen lightning. With each step, the creaking walls whispered, "Here, all things turn to ice." The lion's paws trembled as he walked, frozen droplets on the walls staring like silent sentinels. An ancient sorrow lingered here. Suddenly he remembered the reed pipe around his neck. The frog's words echoed, "Its sound will speak your heart's truth." He blew into the pipe, and its melody trembled through the ice, carving a path forward. Each note struck the walls, ringing, "Courage, courage." At the labyrinth's end loomed a colossal ice block. Inside stood the water nymph, eyes closed, hands clasped over her heart. The lion touched the ice. His claws turned violet with cold. "I will free you, noble nymph," he roared. The nymph's voice quivered through the ice. 1,000 years ago, every creature revered water as life's source. But fear poisoned their hearts during endless droughts. Beavers built impassable dams, elephants hoarded rivers. In grief, I encased myself here. Only a heart that respects nature's balance can melt this ice. The lion pressed his paws to the ice. His golden mane blazed like fire, but the frost held. Desperate, he thought of the wilting flowers, thirsty cubs, and parched earth. His heart ached to save them. He played the reed again, its song merging with his mane's glow. The cave shuddered. "This melody," gasped the nymph, her voice tender. "It carries kindness I've not felt in ages." The ice cracked, splintered, and exploded into mist. The water nymph emerged, her eyes the blue of midnight oceans, dancing in shafts of sunlight. "Sea lion," she said, cradling a glimmering droplet. "This is the memory of the first rain that ever fell to the earth. For 1,000 years I waited in ice, mourning as creatures forgot its worth across ages past. But you reignited mercy and sharing." The lion bowed his head in reverence. "In this forest, I've learned that no creature stands alone. The thorns taught me the power of sharing. The swamp revealed the weight of truth. Now I vow, this droplet shall become the heart of our wilderness." The nymph touched the droplet to his brow. It transformed into a crystal pendant, scattering rainbows across the cave. "Let this pendant guide your promise," she said. "Remember, nature thrives only when hearts unite." As they left, the ice melted into rushing streams. The nymph stretched her hand toward the river. "I am free, and the waters will never abandon this land again." When the lion returned to the forest, the sky hung heavy with grey clouds. The first raindrop struck an elephant's back, and she trumpeted joyfully, "It's coming. The rain is finally here." Raindrops fell like liquid starlight, reviving crumpled leaves and stitching the cracked earth with a blue lace of water. For 3 days and nights, the rain washed not just the soil, but the animals' weary hearts. A hedgehog pup nestled close to its mother and asked, "We'll never thirst again, right?" The mother nuzzled her child and whispered, "No, Little one, this rain is the gift of the lion's promise. When the clouds parted, the forest erupted into celebration. Beavers engineered miniature waterfall dams along the river, carving tiny wooden benches so creatures could sit and listen to the water's song. Ants tunneled tirelessly, aerating the soil until sprouts burst forth like fireworks. Even the tiniest ant chirped, "My footprints will bloom into flowers." The owl gathered the young beneath the council tree, now using rainbow-hued seeds instead of brittle leaves for lessons. "See this seed?" she told a squirrel pup. "It carries the lion's courage within." A month later, the water nymph returned to the forest and the world came alive. Trees stretched their branches toward her. The river danced with frothy swirls. She stood before the lion and touched his pendant. "This crystal no longer belongs to you alone." The pendant blazed, scattering thousands of light specks across the forest. Each speck settled on an animal's brow, glowing like a tiny star. "These marks," said the nymph, "will remind you of your vow. Forget your promise, and both the marks and the waters will fade." From that day on, the animals cherished their roles as guardians. Guided by the lion, they worked joyfully to nurture their home. Spring brought squirrels planting hope seeds into the soil. As each seed fell, they murmured, "Never again." Summer saw elephants wading into the river, their giant ears tuned to the water's whispers. "This stone is troubled," rumbled one, lifting a moss-covered rock to dry in the sun. Autumn had wolves weaving blankets from fallen leaves for the sick and elderly. "Mum, this blanket smells like rainbows," howled a pup, nuzzling into the earthy fragrance. Winter arrived with the nymph singing to snowflakes, "Share yourselves where you're needed most." Each flake melted with a sigh, "Dear Earth, send me to those who thirst." The sun dipped below the horizon, staining the sky in hues of crimson and rose. The lion and a young tiger sat atop the whispering rock, overlooking the forest. Below, the river shimmered like the water nymph's flowing hair. The lion removed the crystal pendant from his neck, its glow now turquoise in the twilight. "This crystal," he said softly, "is more than a promise. It is nature's heartbeat, the pulse of time. With each season, its color shifts. Spring seedling green, summer's sky blue." The young tiger leaned closer, ears perked. "These hues reflect the forest's spirit. Should they fade, you must rekindle them with songs of kindness and unity." He placed the pendant around the tiger's neck and bowed. "The forest is yours now. Walk the path of justice, truth, and courage. Remember, strength grows when shared. Protect nature and joy will flourish. For nature lives only when hearts beat as one." A sudden gust swept through the trees, their branches bowing as if greeting the stars. Distant laughter, light and melodic, rippled through the air. "Is she watching us?" asked the tiger. The lion gazed at the river, where the first stars twinkled on the water's surface. She is no longer just a nymph. She is the wind's song, the rain's dance, the soil's whisper. And when you're ready, she'll share new secrets with you. That night, the water nymph arrived with the rain. She thanked the lion for safeguarding the forest, and the woods forever honored the vow he had made.